On this episode of the Mad Rush podcast,
we really spent so much time on the packaging. I mean, my mom and I sat with those paint chips on inside lighting in the kitchen, outside on the porch, trying to find that absolute perfect orange. I mean, we combed the aisles. We really spent a lot of time on that packaging, but we didn't want it to feel mass. And there's a lot of tween brands out there. We wanted it to feel edgy. We wanted it to feel sophisticated, that high school and college girls would want to use, would be excited to have on their shelf, but that, you know, obviously the indirect market with the littler girls and knowing that it's safe for them too. It was very, like you said, you keep using the word intention. It was very intentional.
Welcome to the Mad Rush podcast. I'm Tricia Addicks, the original sorority rush consultant. While the stories I have to share are nothing short of astonishing, this podcast goes beyond the wild client tales and sorority life. I'll be engaging with fascinating guests from both within and outside the Greek world, uncovering the surprising connections that bind us all together. Join me for a journey that's as entertaining as it is enlightening. Welcome to Mad Rush. I am very excited about today's guests. I am so inspired by you two. And y'all, you know, I always talk about moving with intention. And I've been so impressed with in the conversations I've had with these two women. They are very intentional in all that they do, and it shows with their products. So I have today Lucia Carothers and Erin Piper. Erin is the founder and Lucia is the CEO of Saint Crewe Skincare. And at the end of this episode, you're going to want to hear about our contest giveaway. And it's going to be going on right now when this airs with Wheezy Towels, Mirren Crosby, Saint Crewe, and yours truly, me. So thank you so much for being here, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. Very exciting.
And you guys are located where? I know this, but no one else does.
I'm in Baton Rouge. Lucia's in Dallas.
Dallas.
So wait, how did you guys connect? Did y'all know each other? Like
we did. We've known each other our whole lives. Lucia's little sister is my best friend from starting in middle school.
Oh, wow. So, and how many years apart? Lucia, how old? I don't mean, you don't need to tell me how old you are.
I'm the younger one.
You think so? Because look at her skin.
I know.
Look at her skin.
Yeah, her
she
skin
definitely
is
looks
insane.
younger. I'm 42.
12 years older.
You're 12 years old?
Oh, sorry.
Now they know how old I am.
Dang.
About that.
Y'all, and when you see these people, you're going to know why they are doing what they're doing, because it's actually absurd. Yeah.
Lucia's skin.
Well, I've bathed in SkinCeuticals.
And all that water. And she drinks like 9 gallons of water a day. The only thing I have is coffee, Diet Coke, and wine.
Exactly.
She has water.
I have coffee. I have coffee. I went down the Celsius route. Have y'all had that?
No.
Is that the energy one?
Oh my God, yes. And my son was like, wait, Mom, you're drinking like 7 cups of coffee, like in this one little can. So I tried to get off of that. And then, so I just turned to Diet Coke, which is terrible. And so
it's worse, but it's so good.
Yeah, exactly. Diet Coke, coffee, and vodka for me. So there you have it. I know that y'all are tuning in so you can hear what we drink. So that is the purpose of this podcast. And all right, so let's start with you, Erin. Let's talk about your background a little bit, and why you decided to do this.
Sure. So I'm actually a social worker. I have a private practice here in Baton Rouge, and I started that in New Orleans. I worked for an agency in New Orleans as a social worker. I got my master's at Tulane. Worked for an agency there, working with kids who had complex trauma, severe PTSD, especially after Katrina and all the aftermath of that.
Oh, wow.
I had my daughter and decided to open my own practice after that. So I started that in New Orleans, and then my husband and I decided we wanted to move back to Baton Rouge with our kids. We had small kids. My parents were around the corner. We wanted the help, and it was just lovely. And we've loved it ever since. So I've had a private practice since then. I would say, I mean, I think we're all inspired by our kids and what they're interested in. And I wandered into Sephora. I think it was last January. I know Lucia, I've told this story so many times. I'm pretty sure it was last January on a Saturday morning. And I needed a concealer. Conley was with me. That's my daughter. I wasn't planning on getting her anything. She was 9 at the time. And it was absolutely slammed with girls my daughter's age with hundreds of dollars of products in their basket. I mean, I was just floored. I was floored for a couple of reasons. Number one, the products in their baskets, and I was the one walking around peering in their basket, being like, what do you have in there?
Creeper.
I know. Mom was like, what's this lady doing? First of all, they weren't appropriate for their skin at all. And second, just the sheer volume of what they were getting. And just sort of the focus of these young girls and beauty and skincare and all the things. And my daughter asked if she could get something. I said, sure. She came up to me with a retinol eye cream. Obviously, we didn't get that as she was 9, but it was beautifully packaged. I could understand why she wanted it. I wanted it. And actually, I think I might end up buying it for myself. And it was beautiful, but obviously not appropriate for her. I think she ended up finding a lip gloss, maybe a Tower 28 lip gloss or something like that. That was lovely. And we went on our way, and I just started thinking, my brain started turning. Because as a social worker, I'm not dying for a 9-year-old to be focused on skincare really at all, whether it's mine or someone else's. Like, go outside, go to a lemonade stand, go do what you're doing, splash your face with some cold water and run along. And that still is how I feel, quite frankly. But if they're going to do it, then let's provide something that's really clean and really high end and something that we can feel really good about putting on their skin. So I just started to think about it and started doing my research and sort of did a rough long-term plan and a forecast and all the things, and just researched the absolute hell out of it. I think I went to the ends of the internet on how to do this, and really started thinking and talking to a few firms and learning as much as I could about it. And then I was at a girls' weekend with my best friend from high school, Lucia's little sister. And I was telling her the girls my idea, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm thinking, and how to, this is how I want to move forward. And Ashley pipes up with, well, call her Lucia. This is what she does. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, well, she's a beauty and wellness consultant, has been for years. And I remember back in the day, Ashley and I would help out Laura Lucia at the SkinCeuticals stands and Aspen or whatever pop-ups they were doing. And we always had such a good time, but I guess I had just sort of forgotten that that's what she did. So I gave her a call, and she consulted with me for a long time. And I said, I can't live without you. You got to come on. So she came on as CEO, and here we go.
Okay, 2 things about that, and we're obviously going to get more into it, but I'm a little distracted by your necklace. I'm obsessed with it. I was listening to you, I swear. I was, but I'm a little distracted by it.
So funny story. It was at the little pop-up we did in Dallas a few weeks back. Clover, the boutique. They had the cutest necklaces. And I showed up and I forgot my jewelry. I think I left at 4 a.m. for this pop-up, flew to Dallas, had a beautiful outfit, literally no jewelry, no wedding rings, no nothing. And so I went in and I was like, can you pick me on a necklace? And they picked this one out. Isn't it fun?
It's good. So I had this person who, ironically, she works for the Baton Rouge Advocate, Jan Risher. She was on my podcast, and she does a weekly article for the Baton Rouge newspaper, and she's written a book, whatever. But she forgot her jewelry when she was on my podcast, and I was looking at her, and then all of a sudden I realized she had strung paper clips together from her desk.
It's
that
brilliant.
Was her necklace. And paperclip necklaces are
they're very in.
They're very in. And I was like, wait, those are actual paper clips. Like, what is happening?
That's fabulous.
So there's a lot of connections there. But so speaking of Baton Rouge and connections, one of my pledge sisters that we are group text, we travel together. Her husband is from Chalmette, Louisiana. And anyway, her daughter is named Conley. Isn't that crazy?
No way.
Oh,
Yeah. And your daughter.
I'm a Conley. She's the Conley. There you go.
And their whole the whole Louisiana, that's kind of crazy.
No, I've never heard of another child named Conley. I mean, it's a family name, which is where I got it from. It was my great-grandmother's name, but it's so funny.
I think that's the same. But yeah, so I'm always struck when I'm doing this this podcast by like the millions of connections or whatever. So you went to LSU and you were in a sorority, and then you were a sorority advisor for.
I was. So I'm no longer the advisor, but I was a recruitment advisor for a few years, and it was absolutely hilarious and so much fun.
I think, did you say your practice is now more geared towards college age girls?
It is. It's college age girls. And it's been that way for a while. It just sort of organically happened. I think high schoolers just started coming, and then the college girls started coming, and some college guys too. They are a funny group.
They really are. And I feel like, and someone who was a therapist that was on this podcast was talking about how in tune they are with their emotions, or not, maybe that's not the right way to say it, but they're more aware that they need help.
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they're more aware they need help. I think they're quicker to get help. I think, which is a great thing.
Yes.
I think on the flip side of that, sometimes they can think that things are a really huge deal that maybe we sort of had to deal with a bit more. Things are bigger, things are more dramatic. Well, a breakup.
Gotcha.
To them, that's cause, for maybe missing school, for maybe missing a test. Whereas I think when we were in college, and I'm sure it was the same with our Lucia, if we had a breakup, you had to move on and you had to cope. We are in a place right now where coping skills are hard to come by. So we really focus on resilience and coping skills in my practice, and how to move through those issues, not to try to create a life where there aren't any, but how do we move through and deal? Because you will be so much more successful in the future if you can get through those little bumps. And I think they have things that seem huge at the time, but they can get through it. They're tough cookies. But a lot of times they sort of need somebody to say, hey, we can do this. We can't live a life of zero obstacles, but we've got to work on our coping skills to get through some of these things. And so I'm very much focused on that in my practice.
Which is really a good thing to focus on, because it's, and with what I do, it is all consuming for going through Rush and preparing for Rush, and it's so all consuming. But if you cannot cope with any, let's say, setbacks, then that's something we work on a lot too. And I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed.
Well, you basically are.
Well, but it's very similar.
It's very similar. And I've seen a lot of kids in my practice during Rush, after Rush, and all of the things. Yeah. And there's parts of it that can truly be traumatic.
Yes.
I can understand that. And I am so glad to see that there are people like you who have been through this and been through the ups and downs of it, and are here to help young ladies go through this now. That's so amazing. We didn't have that going through.
No.
But I'm so glad that's available now.
Yeah. And for that specifically, just because, and it is like to what you said, it's like a moment in time, meaning the importance goes away. I mean, almost.
And the lesson stays. The lesson stays always. But it's just like being a parent trying to tell my 10-year-old that she has to go to bed at 8:30 on a school night. She's going to be exhausted the next day. She doesn't want to listen to me. And a lot of times neither do the girls in my chair. But
yeah, exactly.
That's why they're here. I'm a solution-focused therapist. We work on solutions. We work on moving on.
Oh, I love that.
We work on coping. We work on resilience. And we work on dealing with things now so we don't have to deal with them later. And I love that these kids are getting in therapy sooner. They're getting in therapy faster to work on some of these. But we've also got to work with this age, I think, about remembering that not every bump is trauma.
Yeah, I'm not laughing. That is a great way of putting it. Not every bump is trauma. And that's a great thing. So how do you, if you had advice for someone, I mean, I'm not trying to get you to give a therapy session, but I do think that would be important for our listeners. And then we'll get back to the reason that you're here. But I think And if you don't have it, that's totally fine. But
Sure.
like, is there a coping thing that's like easy, like 5 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there something that you recommend that people do when they have a setback that is not a huge setback?
I think a lot of times my mom used to tell me all the time, go put yourself up. Put yourself up for a few minutes. Go back to where you came from. Go back to bed for a minute. Go home. Take a deep breath. Take a walk outside and try to remember perspective is everything. We will get through this. You will get through this. If it is not tragic, and some things are tragic, some things are truly tragic. But what I ask myself all the time, is this a tragedy? It's not.
Right.
This is not a tragedy. Deep breaths, relax, go on a walk, talk to a friend. The worst thing you can do is react in the moment. The worst thing you can do is run your mouth. And it is very tempting to run your mouth. Guilty.
Guilty.
It is very tempting.
Erin and I are the same cloth there.
But self-control is a superpower. At 42 years old, I have not figured that out.
Right.
But in this instance, I'd say do as I say and not as I do. Not being the one to pop off, not being the one to react first is so powerful and makes you look like such a badass.
You can say badass.
Makes you look so strong that is everything.
I love that.
Give it 24 hours. Don't send the email. Give it a minute. And again, this is not something that I have mastered.
Right.
Lucia works on me with this. My mother, I'm 42 years old. My mother still works with me on this. But as you get older, you realize less said, best said. Put yourself up. Less said, best said. It's going to be fine.
I feel like that is very true. Sometimes I see like friends or people post on social media, like they're mad about something, and then they post it, and I'm like, wait, why are you doing that? There's just no.
Well, and they're stealing their children's self-esteem when they do that. When we as parents go after all of these small things, like in a baseball game, my son plays 8U baseball in a rec league, and I see these parents get so upset.
Right.
And the kids are watching them. Our kids are always learning, whether we're teaching them or not, they're always learning.
Right.
And we are stealing our children's self-esteem when we go fix everything. When we make that post on Facebook about how it was unfair for our kid.
Right.
We're stealing their self-esteem to make ourselves feel better. And we've got to stop doing that as parents. And usually if you put yourself up and you give yourself 24 hours, the next day you realize it's going to be okay. I am always glad when I wait and not say anything. And I would say, 8 times out of 10, I regret it when I say something too quickly.
And I also, it's very telling too. Someone will, like you said, pop off. I love that. And I forgot that that's a phrase. I'm going to start using it. But like someone will pop off on Facebook and it's out there or Instagram or whatever. But it's out there forever. But then you'll be like, I sometimes go down the rabbit hole and I'm like, what the hell happened? So I go back and the post is gone, which means that they've realized that it's redonk to post this. And so I think that having that perspective ahead of time is really, it's rather than taking it down after 24 hours, wait 24 hours to post it.
And I know Lucia's been through this tons of times, I'm sure, teaching teenage girls. What goes on the internet stays there forever. I haven't had to quite get into that yet. Conley's almost 11, so we don't have a phone. We don't have anything. But I mean, Lucia has 2 precious girls who would never do something like that, I know. But I mean, I know she's taught them that till she's blue in the face. It's tough.
Right.
Well, and their business, like even I can remember years ago, there were whole teams at one of the companies that I worked that just looked at social media from an employment standpoint.
Really?
And I tell my girls all the time, I'm like, what you put out there follows you. So you really do have to be conscious. And is that something that you want your mother, your grandmother, your priest, your whoever, whatever you're putting out there, you need to be comfortable with everyone seeing it forever.
All the time. My mom always told me my entire life, if you put it in writing, make sure you're okay with it on the front of the New York Times, because that's basically what you're doing. And that stuck with me. And with Rush, how important with the Instagram and the social media and all of these things.
And that is something that we work on very hard. Mm-hmm. And I sometimes get heat. People are like, you're telling them to change their social media to, change it. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get them to project a little bit into the future. And this is what you, this
it's a first impression.
If this is what you want, if this is your goal, then you have to do this. And okay, so speaking of Laura Lucia, let's talk about your background and hottie toddy.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. I don't know this hottie toddy business.
Go Dogs, people.
I've heard hottie toddy for the past year and a half.
How about go SEC?
I claim Ole Miss as mine, even though I didn't go there because my son did, and I love that place. But
it's a fun spot.
It's a snow globe town.
It's definitely
a what? A snow globe town.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like everything's honky dory and happy there. So
so talk about your background and
yes,
and then I need for people to understand the difference in your products that you've created. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I also grew up in Baton Rouge and went to Ole Miss, loved it, and I have been in the beauty industry for, we'll say 25 plus years. And and it started all at SkinCeuticals. We were actually a company before we became SkinCeuticals, and then about a year in changed our name and worked with Duke University's dermatology department. The chief of dermatology was Sheldon Pennell, and his son was CEO of SkinCeuticals. And then we were acquired by L'Oreal. I was there 14 years. My foundation is PR and marketing, but I was in product development, pretty much key opinion leader relations, sponsorships, you name it, every aspect of the business. And then went on to be president of a luxury oral care company, and then started a consulting business.
So wait, can I interrupt you? What is a luxury? Yeah. You don't have to say the name of the company, but what does luxury oral care mean? Like
just
fancy toothpaste?
Fancy toothpaste. It actually has published research behind it. And then we also had like gels for periodontal issues and rinses. We were bringing the technology of antioxidants that we had at SkinCeuticals into an oral care product.
Oh, that's cool.
The co-founder of SkinCeuticals started that company, and I ran that company for him. I was there 12 years.
I'm a little obsessed. Do you know what a Trask toothbrush is?
No.
Okay, so I went to this thing. I'm at my beach house, as you know, at Sea Island, and it was the Southern Coterie, which I'm a member of. It's a great, y'all should look into this. But it's a bunch of women who have companies, and so I went to a summit here, and there was a day when you could like walk around and shop or look at products, and Tyler Bow. I don't know if you are familiar with those clothes. Like she was there, and anyway, it's a very cool thing, and I'm gonna hook you guys up with that. But there was this woman there. She was a dentist, and she started this company. So let me back up. I just redid my bathrooms in Atlanta, and I love everything about it. But my toothbrush, my janky blue and green Oral-B toothbrush, was not working with the aesthetics of my bathroom. So this Trask toothbrush company has like the most beautiful toothbrushes. They were developed. She was a dentist, and you can get them in like tortoiseshell, and you can get them in like, I got silver ones. And so anyway, I digress, but that's luxury toothbrushes. And I'm a little obsessed with the Trask toothbrushes. Continue.
I'm going to have to check those out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I love good oral hygiene.
Yeah. Okay. So I interrupted you, but
she goes to the dentist like once a month. It's weird.
That is so weird. It's weird.
I don't go once a month, but I do love to go to the dentist.
I'll say my mother. She loves to go to the dentist too. She has the prettiest teeth.
Why? Okay.
Whatever. Well, because it feels so good. Yeah. Clean teeth. I'm a little
She goes
OCD.
every 3 months without fail.
Really?
It's great teeth. Anyway.
So Erin reached out. Yeah.
Apologies.
Because we have so many good things to talk about.
We do. I know. I can sit here for hours.
I know.
Yeah.
Pretty sure no one listens to me for hours.
No, we don't.
Exactly.
So Erin, like she mentioned, reached out to me after a girls' trip with my sister and said, "Hey, I've got this idea. What do you think?" And I was like, "Let me go, ask around. Let me do a little market research and get back to you." And Erin ended up becoming a client of mine. And we've really, I've been there since, gosh, almost the very beginning. And we've worked with some really amazing partners, developing formulas, the design, all of it. And I will say it has been such a joy and so much fun to work with Erin because we know each other, trust each other. There's no when you don't really know someone and you're working together, there's like a little uncomfortableness. Well, there's none because I've known Erin since she was 8 years old and she's known me. Like we're very open with each other and honest. And I think that is a beautiful way to build a relationship because we get things done. We both have a common vision and desire to bring like really great products to market because we have girls. And like Erin was saying, they're just not products out there that are clean to the level of clean that we have developed these products. Our products are Credo Clean, Sephora Clean, and Ulta Clean. Credo is probably the most stringent of guidelines, and Sephora and Ulta, and we meet all three. And that was very important for us in launching these 4 products. And we want, like Erin said, we want our girls and all children and teenagers and college girls to feel good about what they're putting on their skin. We even went so far as to do clinical testing on the products, which is not required because we wanted to make sure that people with sensitive skin were able to use the products without issue. So I feel like we've done a really good job and we're proud of what we've put together.
So I said earlier that you guys clearly move with intention and you've done this the right way. Okay, so I am going to interject that I used these products and I do not have, or am using these products, and I do not have childlike skin or teen-like or college-like or even Erin-like skin. But
be silly.
I'm just saying because of your age. I definitely don't have Laura Lucia either. But so y'all, these products, and I'm going to put them in my Bibles that we'd send to our clients. I mean, these are something that you can get behind as a parent in a way that is really, really cool. All right. One, the packaging is insane, which doesn't matter. But it does matter because, like I said,
matters to those girls. Yep.
That's what. Well,
it matters to me. I love packaging.
That's what I'm saying. It matters to me too. It's why I was bringing up the Trask toothbrushes. Like, right. I also am super OCD, and anyone listening who knows me, I don't have anything on my counters ever. Like, you can come into my house and you think that I could show my house tomorrow. I mean, this is like the joke with my friends.
There's no blender on your kitchen counter, is there?
No.
I hate it too. I don't have anything on my countertop.
Nothing.
That air fryer is on the top shelf of the pantry with the door shut.
Yeah. I feel like we're kind of the same person in several ways, but including our sailor mouths. But so
far
anyway,
I've only said one.
I know it's just badass. That's fine. But so what I'm saying, I'm about to say something which is huge. These products are on my counter. Like,
oh, wow.
I've never had a product on my counter, and I'm not making this up. And for my friends who listen, if they listen, and they have to listen because they're my friends, they are going to be like, holy shit, she has products on her counter. This is huge. This is a big thing. So this is how cute they are. So what I think is, even if they weren't great for this age skin, this is going to be the cool thing to have on the counter in the sorority house or on your dorm, whatever you call it, vanity.
Thank you. We really spent so much time on the packaging. I mean, my mom and I sat with those paint chips on inside lighting in the kitchen, outside on the porch, trying to find that absolute perfect orange. I mean, we combed the aisles. We really spent a lot of time on that packaging because, we wanted to create something too. Not only obviously as a mom and as an adult, I know that what's inside the packaging is the most important. but we didn't want it to feel mass. And there's a lot of tween brands out there. We wanted it to feel edgy. We wanted it to feel sophisticated, that high school and college girls would want to use, would be excited to have on their shelf, but that, obviously the indirect market with the littler girls and knowing that it's safe for them too. It was very, like you said, you keep using the word intention. It was very intentional. The Saint Crewe, the font of it, the script, I knew I had to have that. As soon as I saw that, I knew I had to have it. Every color, every line, and Laura Lucia's attention to detail on this was incredible. But we're very proud of the packaging because we wanted something, we knew what we wanted, and I really think we nailed it. If I do say so myself.
You nailed it. So for listeners, this is not an infomercial, but I would like for you to explain what quickly. I'm not giving you direction quickly, but like just so y'all aren't
sure.
bored out there, but like what it is that we're talking about and what your main products are, and then we'll talk about the giveaway. So
sure. So we've got 4 products. We have a cleansing balm, a serum, a moisturizer, and a mist, a facial mist, Clean Beam Balmy Dream. There's a beautiful balm. The packaging is so satisfying. The way it twists out, you sort of have to see it to believe it. It goes on light. I think one of our influencers said it was like putting velvet on their face, and it rinses off so clean, smells so good. The facial mist is light and smells amazing, and just, for lack of a better term, because we hear the word glow all the time and it's called Goji Glow and Go, it really does make you glowy. It's just such a lovely product. The Water Whip is a very light moisturizer that I love using under makeup, but the younger girls love it because it's very light. It's not heavy on your face, and it's just gives you sort of a glow, for lack of a better term. And Laura Lucia should do this. I'm not very good at it.
It smells wonderful.
Oh, it smells so good. The Water Whip smell is probably my favorite. And then the serum is lovely too, and it goes on so smooth and glides on and works so well with the moisturizer. Laura Lucia, am I missing anything?
No, I would say it's been interesting to see my girls. So I have a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old, and they love the products, but it's so funny. They will fall in love with the product and talk about it for a week, and then the next week they're like, but this one is so awesome. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to watch. So.
I would say the balm and the mister and the facial mist, everyone, they love all of them, but those 2 are probably what stand out, I would think, with the high school.
And I think it's super cool. Like I'm sure Conley being 10 or she's going to look at these older girls. I had someone on this podcast, Katie Bulmer, who was talking about comfort colors, the t-shirts, and the power of sorority girls to create a trend. And I predict, because I know nothing about this, but I do know sorority girls, I predict that this is going to take off like wildfire in like sorority houses. That's just my prediction.
Thank you. That is very kind. We certainly hope so too.
So along those lines, we are right now, when this is airing, which is Wednesday, June 4th. Yes, Wednesday, June 4th. We're recording this the week before. So we are doing a giveaway that you guys are going to want to do. You moms out there are going to want to get these products for your daughters going off to school. These are great for rush bags. So let's real quick talk about this giveaway, and we're going to have this all over the interwebs and Instagram. But how can people win these products, and talk about what else we're giving away?
Yeah, so we have put together a bag, this beautiful bag. It's a Maren Crosby Y'all bag that they can put all of their items in that they want to carry from house to house. We also have a Wheezy robe, Wheezy makeup towels, and then a full set of the Saint Crewe products, along with what you are giving, your Bible and your recorded session. We also have some other little goodies in there, a cordless fan that they can carry with, a portable fan they can carry with them, a notebook to be able to take notes from house to house, a little makeup mirror with LED lights, some tissues,
Ooh, I
and
want one of those.
and a
Can
water
I
bottle.
Win?
I know. I said, if I got this on my doorstep, I would be thrilled.
Oh my gosh. And it's that cute. The water bottle is just absolutely adorable.
It's adorable. But they can go to your they'll go to your Instagram, and there'll be a link for them to sign up to enter. But they'll need to go and follow Miriam Crosby, Wheezy, Saint Crewe, and they're already following you. And if they're not, they need to be. And there'll be instructions on there. And if they want to share the link, share the story, or share the link out, they'll get an extra entry.
Well, I appreciate you guys including me on that because I'm a huge fan of you guys. I'm a huge fan of the way you're going about this business. And I think that it's very elevated, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. So
we're grateful to be a part of this. Thank you so much. This is such an honor and such a pleasure to be here with you, Tricia. We so appreciate it.
So real quick, did you do your homework or did you not? Bama Rush popularized hashtag OOTD for outfit of the day. For this podcast, it's hashtag OOTD. What's your observation of the day? And Laura, Lucia, since you have a good connection now, you go first.
So my outfit of the day, I'm telling you what I'm wearing?
No, observation of the day. She didn't do her homework. She didn't do her homework. So it can be anything. Like we had one person on here and she talked about observation of the day.
My observation of every day is start out the way you want to finish.
Love that. I'm writing that down.
Start out the way you want to finish and let it be positive.
I'm writing that down. The way you want to finish.
She said that since the beginning, and it's such a great way to do things.
I tell that to my children as they leave for school.
I love that. Always be positive. I learned so much when on this podcast. I'm so grateful for all these connections. And Erin, do you have an observation of the day?
I don't know if it's really an observation or if it's advice. And I've got two pieces. One in business, know what you don't know. My parents told me that the minute I could talk.
I love that. Yeah.
Know what you don't know. There's a whole lot that I don't know. And I think one of the reasons why Laura, Lucia, and I are going to be so successful is because she also knows that she doesn't know. And we aren't afraid to ask for help. We aren't afraid to go find the absolute best in the business and learn from them. That's the best thing you can do. Not that I'm some seasoned business lady, because I'm not. But I have learned quite a bit in the last 18 months. And then two, for your gals going through recruitment, watch that social media. Watch those pictures. Put your best foot forward. You can still be yourself and be you, because ultimately the conversations that you have in the house with those girls, that's what's the most important. If they feel a connection with you, they're going to love to have you there. That truly is what is most important. But you're not being yourself by putting your best foot forward on social media and everyone else. There is a bit of a game to play. And if you want to be a part of it, then there is a piece of that. But there's a fine line between covering up who you are and putting your best foot forward. And it's possible to still be yourself and be you and be what you believe in while putting your best foot forward. Both are true. You can hold both at the same time. So
I love
don't think that you're changing yourself or you're not being you by cleaning all of that up. This is the real world now.
And that is such great advice. It's really,
that might have been way more than you wanted.
No, that was amazing. And I hope that people really, I know our clients do. It's something we focus on a lot, because we're not trying to change anybody. We're not trying to tell people to be who they're not. But you also have to, for your goals, if your goal is to be in a sorority, or if your goal is to get that job, if your goal is to find quality friends, if your goal, whatever your goals are, your social media should reflect that instead of, where you are today. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to do this giveaway with you. I'm excited to promote the hell out of Saint Crewe, because I really think it's something special. And I also would like to say really quickly, my observation is that anybody who knows me knows that I don't say, I also do things with intention, and there's no part of me that would ever want to have you on here or want to put you in my Bible or want to, if I didn't think this was really, really something special, there's no upside for me. So I think that once, and they're starting to, and maybe they're already there, but once people learn about this, I think you guys you're gonna dominate if you're not already. So thank you for being here so much.
Thank you so much for having us, Tricia. This was such a ball.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Time Out with Tricia. Because can you really give advice if you don't speak about yourself in the third person? I don't think so. This is exactly how I speak to my clients. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Now let's get into it. So that was really cool. And they are such an inspiration, these women. And they have created products that are for the listeners of this podcast. So excited about that. But speaking of skincare, it is very important that you have a plan in place with your rush bag to not be a sweaty mess. And if you're rushing in August in the South or pretty much anywhere, you're going to be hot. So having a fan in your bag is important, and doing your skincare routine ahead of time, figuring it out so that you're not putting new products on your face. I think that putting Saint Crewe on your face at any time is going to be okay. But make sure you have a plan in place that you can follow and you don't start a new one right as you're going through rush. And that's it for Time Out with Tricia. We'll see you on another episode of the Mad Rush Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Mad Rush Podcast. If you are enjoying this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. For additional Rush tips, updates, and more, please follow me on Instagram at Rush with Confidence. If you would like to reach out to us or for more information, please email info@madrushpod.com. Don't touch my radio. This podcast is produced by Collier Landry and Don't Touch My Radio. Copyright Tricia Addicks.